It makes much more sense to set your alarm for your bedtime rather than your wake up time. And yet, it's pretty normalized in society to do it the other way around. I think this is because a lot of us want to extend our waking time and we're willing to cut short our sleep time for it and jolt ourselves awake with an alarm in the morning. The other reason is, I think, because we have work at specific times in the morning, so we just use the alarm to get to work without, worrying about the loss of sleep. Now, the advantages to setting your alarm at bedtime are that you can more consistently control it because, you're just choosing when to go to bed, and it's a lot easier to control that than if you're asleep and you have to constantly wake up to an alarm even if you're sleep deprived. The other aspect to it is that you will consistently get, a minimum amount of sleep. For example, if you always set your alarm clock for 10 p.m. and you have to wake up at 6 a.m., you'll always get the, 7 to 8 hours, whatever it might be, depending on how long it takes you to fall asleep. Whereas if your alarm is set for 6 a.m. to wake up, but you go to bed inconsistently between 10, 11, 12, even 1 a.m., then you're getting anywhere from 5 to 8 hours of sleep. So, the entire dynamic changes. The other reason is as you get into the habit of falling asleep at the same time, you will also start to get sleepy at the same time, and you'll also start to wake up at the same time. So it'll build this stability into your sleep routine, which will actually help your sleep health overall. So I think it's one of the first steps for good sleep hygiene is just going to sleep consistently at the same time. When you also know when you're going to sleep, you can also begin to bake in other healthy habits, such as eating your last meal, 6 hours before that time, um, turning off screens an hour before then, reading a book for 10 minutes beforehand, and so on. So it basically helps you create a good bedtime routine. Whereas if your alarm is set in the morning, many of us do not have a great wake up routine. It's usually just, brush your teeth, shower, get dressed, and go. It often does not include anything that would help you sleep better at night. One thing you can do in the mornings is use a kind of sun lamp to get a lot of sunlight in your eyes, which will then help you sleep later in the day. But yeah, I think that waking up well basically relies on you starting the previous day with a good bedtime routine. And setting alarm for when you go to bed is the best way to start. It's a very simple step to do.